Hey everyone, how's it going? Back once again giving you even more awesome video game content. This time, however, though, I'm actually going to be doing something a little bit different from my usual routine. So originally I was all set on buying today's game, Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom, early out the gate, and creating another cheap and awkwardly created thoughts on video for you all. However, I couldn't help but feel that I needed to push the effort bar just a little bit higher. So today's video is actually going to be my first ever proper review for a game on this channel, which I'm very interested to see how it will turn out, but it could go either way for all I know, but we'll have to see how it goes. With that out of the way, let's get right into it, people. 2013's Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch garnered much well-deserved praise, mostly in part for its colourful and charming art direction brought on by the game's collaboration between developer Level 5 and the world-renowned Studio Ghibli. But it also succeeded in providing a well-told and emotional story along with a well-refined combat system that all came together to form what I consider to be one of the best RPGs in the last few years. And while the series' latest follow-up, Revenant Kingdom, still manages to explore a vibrant world filled with both character and imagination, there are unfortunately many areas in which it just doesn't manage to overcome its predecessor. Set hundreds of years after the events of Oliver and his friends from the first game, our focus this time instead looks at two new individuals. Evan, a young boy raised to one day become king of one of the fantasy world's many kingdoms, and Roland, a leader of a country who was whisked away from his more grounded world to the much more magical filled one of Evan's. After escaping a coup, the duo set out on a quest to form a new kingdom that will unite the world under one banner and bring about an everlasting peace. Along the way, they not only come across many allies who share in Evan's dream, but also encounter a wicked plot that threatens the very fate of the world. Well, the game's premise does manage to change things up from Wrath of the White Witch by focusing on two very different individuals. Revenant Kingdom unfortunately gives little reason or time as to why both heroes are so determined to bring about peace to the world. While this can be easily cast aside for those who care more for the journey rather than destination, it feels just a bit too lacking for my taste. Thankfully though, much of this became little of an issue for me after a while as the game dove more into the world's various kingdoms and their odd ways of life. Whether it be the Kingdom of Golpor that bases everything from taxation to criminal trials down to the simple roll of a dice, or the Kingdom of Hydropolis that has forbidden any expression of love, all while a giant eye towers above. It's in these locations where I not only was at my most intrigued with the world, but also where I felt that same emotional resonance from the first game seep in the most. Where the story sadly falters the most is with its cast and writing. While there was never anything to dislike about my companions, we sadly had very little time put towards making them feel unique, with some characters getting next to nothing. Even Evan, who does learn about the world's many problems, sadly hardly ever feels like his ideals of world peace are ever really challenged in any way. The writing also does little to escape this, which, while finding clever ways to introduce problems from our own world, kind of opts to tackle them in ways that just felt a little too simplistic, even for a younger demographic. In terms of presentation, everything from the open world map to the sensational score helps to once again create a feeling of scale and pure epicness to almost everything in Ni no Kuni. Sadly though, while key locations can leave quite an impact thanks to their strong range of colour and architecture, the constant use of caves and shrines used to fill out the massive world can get a little old after a while. The unfortunate lack of any variety is also a big letdown, with you constantly facing off against reoccurring enemy types with only different skin palettes to them, with even bosses falling into this trend at times. With that said, the game does have an abundance of lovable side characters scattered throughout the world, many of who come with distinct personalities and character designs. Side quests throughout also allow for much interaction with these individuals, and while quest objectives never really evolve outside of basic tasks, there was surprisingly a good number of engaging and emotional stories to them. Of all the things to greatly change from the first game, the core combat of Revenant Kingdom is certainly the biggest. Gone is the active time battle system, which has now been swapped out for a more hack and slash RPG, similar to Level 5's past works on games like Dark Cloud and Rogue Galaxy. While it can seem a tad too basic at times, some of the more tough foes will certainly have you focusing down on blocking and evading more often, as well as utilising characters' powers to the fullest. It certainly could have helped to have had a bit more depth added to it, but its smoothness and fluidity helped to really keep it fresh even towards the latter end of the game. In replacement of the familiars, you are now instead forced to utilise the adorable Hickories, who can offer minor support by attacking foes, healing allies, and at times using special powers. While their presence is appreciated, it can be hard sometimes to feel just how crucial they are towards the success of each of your battles. One mechanic that also plays a part is with the Techie Tweaker that can help with such things as making your party stronger against various types of enemies, or increasing the drop rate of your spoils. In keeping with the game's overall goal of building a kingdom built for everyone, Revenant Kingdom also includes your very own kingdom simulator, and while it's certainly not as deep as other games that focus on the trials and tribulations complications that come with managing your own city, it's still one of the game's biggest highlights for me. Watching my kingdom grow from just a small camp to a thriving community proved to be both incredibly motivating and rewarding. As you complete side quests, you are often rewarded with new citizens, each of which can contribute greatly to your kingdom's growth, whether by researching new tech and skill or by collecting resources. What's more, seeing the people I just helped walking around my kingdom adding to its growth really helped me feel more connected to both them and the world. Skirmishes also proved to be a basic but still engaging activity for you to participate in, whether they be occasionally turning up in the story or just simply coming across on the map. While the idea of engaging in open ground battles certainly feels a little counterintuitive to the game's overall unifying message, there's a decent layer of strategy to it, and getting to pick out which citizens from my kingdom I wanted at my side had me changing my loadout often. As a modern JRPG, Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom manages to carry over much of that unique atmosphere that I so deeply loved from the first game, but sadly it falters in providing a compelling journey along with a cast of fully fleshed out characters to go along with it. The new and altered gameplay additions did help in keeping the game's action present throughout, but when things start to slow down, the game's flaws become very noticeable. While I certainly wish areas like the story and world could have had just a bit more edge to themselves, it still ends up as an enjoyable adventure thanks most in part to an amazing soundtrack, a meaningful kingdom simulator, and a selection of intriguing locations to help to make this a world worth exploring. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you love this video, don't forget to subscribe for even more content. And if you want to stay fully up to date on my next video, you can always hit that alarm button to find out right on the dot.